is the question of Robert Kennedy Jr. Now, as you know, he's sort of been a children's defense, medical health freedom advocate. He's a liberal. He's a Democrat. But we'll find out. Is he like his uncle? I guess it would be his uncle, right? John F. Kennedy. Is he a JFK Democrat? Certainly Teddy Kennedy was a more of a progressive Democrat. Is he a JFK Democrat? And can he give Joe Biden a run for his money in next year's Democratic primary? He's on stage. He cannot be ignored. He's got a big voice. Well, he's got a big platform. He's got that I don't know what the affliction he has is, but he's got some condition or disease that if you've heard him talk, he's got that very hoarse voice. I'm not very good at doing voice impersonations, but you've heard him. So he's got a weak voice, but he's got a big platform. So he will have a loud voice, symbolically, or whatever the word is for that. The state-run media is already attacking him. They're calling him a crackpot. How dare anyone challenge our hero, Joe Biden? They're calling him a lunatic. They're calling him an anti-vaccine quack. He has spoken out against many of the controversial vaccines, not all of them. He's not an anti-vaxxer, but when there's reason to speak out against a vaccine like the HPV vaccine, the human papilloma virus vaccine that was pushed and imposed upon everyone, and we fought at that 7-8 years ago, and this COVID-19 vaccine, he speaks out because there was serious evidence that they are harmful and that Big Pharma's money was behind it all. So the question is he a lunatic like the Democrats on the left want you think of RFK Jr.? Now he's younger than Joe Biden. Joe Biden in his late 80s. RFK Jr., I believe, is in his late 60s. No, Biden's in his he's not, he's in his late 70s. He'll be 80, I think, when it comes up. Of course, there is Marianne Williamson. She's in her early 70s. She's also announced. But it'll be interesting to see just how much the left wing attacks Robert Kennedy Jr. And I want to show you these polling numbers, which are very interesting. Now, this is by Rasmussen Reports, as you can see right here, very credible organization. And we've highlighted here some of the interesting ones. If Biden runs for re-election, should other Democrats challenge him? 62% of Democrats said yes. Then they asked specifically about Kennedy. If he declared himself a candidate, would you support or oppose his campaign? Now, it doesn't mean you'd vote for him, but you support the fact that he should have a campaign. Look at this. Under the Democrats, 25% strongly support it, 27% somewhat support it. So that's over half of Democrats would support RFK Jr. having a campaign. Does that mean they'd vote for him? I don't know. But it certainly sounds like there's a lot of votes in there. It certainly sounds like it could be a threat to Joe Biden in the primary. So we'll see what happens with that. Unlike his older brothers, at least that I know of, and I might not be fully informed on this, with the sex and the drugs and the death of a girl in Chappaquiddick, RFK Jr., I don't believe, has such a scandal in his background. He, up until recently, was in good favor with the Democrat Party, but now he's challenging the status quo. And I'll tell you something, this could be interesting. He started to resist some of the woke, crazy stuff, especially when it comes to healthcare and vaccines from the Democrat Party a few years ago. But he is a Kennedy. He has been speaking out forcibly against Dr. Anthony Fauci, Saint Anthony Fauci, as most of the Democrats view him. He even wrote a book, I believe, about the Fauci fraud, did RFK Jr. So the left clearly wants to cancel him, but I don't think he's cancelable. I don't think so. And I think it's going to be a really, really interesting phenomenon what happens in that.